I actually went for some coaching myself about 6 months ago. And the woman said to me, so you want your husband to treat you like a queen? And I said, well, yeah, I do. She said, okay, you're treating him like a king then?
Let's go back to brain training and NLP. So obviously you were saying that I guess you got interested in this because you were having issues with your ex-husband at the time. Just before we started recording, you were telling me that you're remarried now with a couple of kids. When you met this guy and you started to go into that relationship, how did things look different for you, or rather, how did you look at things differently based on what you'd now learnt about brain training, NLP, etc. And you had a blank canvas with a new guy, as opposed to to problems that had been set in before?
Yeah, I love that question. So I met my ex-husband when I was 22, and I met my husband my current husband, when I was 33. So complete, I was a lot older, a lot wiser, hopefully. But the thing is with relationships is that your partner is a mirror to you. And it took me a really long time to figure that the person who's standing in front of me, who's like, I've decided to share my life with, is the person who's reflecting where my gaps are. And if I didn't know that coming into this marriage, I also probably would have blamed him for getting annoyed, for my anger, for the arguments, like, how dare you say that to me? And obviously, after, 2 years or something, suddenly the glasses come off, and everyone is going to argue in a relationship. I think the difference now is that when we have had rows, I know it's me. I know I'm getting triggered. I know that I need to do some work. And sometimes it is really exhausting, and sometimes, oh God, why can't I just blame? But I know now. And I actually went for some coaching myself about 6 months ago. And the woman said to me, so you want your husband to treat you like a queen? And I said, well, yeah, I do. She said, okay, you're treating him like a king then? I just thought, oh, why am I here again? And it was really confronting to me, because she said to me, which I obviously know, that I'm not coaching your husband, I'm coaching you. So if you want him to be a certain way, you have to go first. You've got to treat him like a king, and then he will naturally treat you like a queen. And that was, sometimes you don't want to go first. Your stubbornness gets in the way, but that was me having to learn. And obviously, I don't think there's any shame of asking for help.
But that's, to me, that sounds, let's say, a lot more simple than NLP or brain training. I've been seeing a couple therapists actually myself over the last couple of weeks with my other half. Hope she doesn't listen to these podcasts. It's interesting because, I've said to my girlfriend, look, we'll go to the couples therapy. And I'm happy to go to it as many times as you want, but I don't see it doing me any benefit, because I know the answer. At the end of the day, I need to do X, Y, Z, or behave in a certain way to be a great boyfriend. But it's a two-way street. And, we can sit there, we can take it in turns to hold the talking stick and all that bollocks. But the reality is, you need to behave in a certain way, i.e. you need to be a great girlfriend, and if you're a great girlfriend, I'll be a great boyfriend. And I think for me, the benefit of being in the room with the therapist is just that it's almost like a calm, safe environment, if you like, where we can talk about some of the things that it's not that we wouldn't talk about it at home, but you certainly wouldn't be able to talk about it without getting irate. Yeah. Because, when you're in that privacy, you just want to shout and scream, and then you both go off in your separate directions. So I've said, listen, I'll go as many times as you want and just have a calm conversation. But I don't know, maybe I'm just over, I always sound probably oversimplistic, to too many things, like the therapist says, right, well, let's write this piece of paper. We're going to write all the bullet points of everything that that Matt wants out of a girlfriend, and that Elena wants out of a boyfriend. And I'm saying, my list's going to be very short. Don't be an alcoholic, and don't disrespect me. Tick those 2 boxes. and pretty much anything else flies, you know.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then I will be the best boyfriend in the world.
Yeah.
But and then I feel we've gone on a wild tangent here. but yeah, because I think we started obviously talking in the context of the NLP and what did you know or see differently with your new husband. But yeah, I mean, does anything I've been talking about fit into
it? Does.
training?
And I know you were saying like, oh, that seems a bit easier, but actually, you know, what I was getting coached on in that moment was that I needed to show up as the version of him that I wanted, regardless of how he shows up. So, you know, you're saying, well, if I do this, you do this. What I was working on is to have zero expectation and to be, because if you're married to, you know, a decent human being, which I am, and somebody who you trust, which I do, I knew, you know, so much of it can very much get like tit for tat, like, well, I'll do this and I'm going to keep counting. And then when I've done this, then you know, you're not allowed to do that, because if you do, my resentment is going to be so much higher because I have been working for so hard.
Yeah.
And so what I was getting coaching on was that regardless, you show up as, and you be the version that you want him to be in the relationship, regardless. Because then, you know, if I came in here with like a face like thunder and wasn't really asking your questions, this interview would have been completely different. The fact that, you know, you're chatty, easy to talk to, I'm like coming in with like a really positive attitude. The energy that I bring in is going to affect the way this interview goes with how the energy that you bring in. And the thing is, it only takes one person to change the energy in a relationship for it to change. And I was willing to be that person. So it's by no means easy. And that's one thing I did learn. The difference is that I go first.